Yo, Daredevil just got revealed in this brand new trailer, and season 3.5 is about to come out in 1 week, my drillers. I'm going to go over and completely break down Daredevil to my best of my abilities. Obviously, no one has hands-on playtested him yet, and people are going to get him early in a couple days, but I'm going to try and break him down and kind of give you the know-how as to how he might work from some high-level analysis with my previous background in esports and stuff like that. I'm also going to go over the patch notes pretty quickly and just kind of talk about the state of the meta. I've been gone for a little bit, but we back, baby. We are back and better than ever. And without further ado, I ain't gonna make you wait. Let's get straight into the trailer. I watched it a little bit previously so I can break it down a little bit better, and I will be pausing and stuff. I'm not just gonna farm watch time and just let it play. You're actually beginning getting some analysis. First, he looks sick. I know I said this about Angelo too. Bro. He looks so good.
For what I am about to do.
This shit's so sick. Come on, bro.
Nice.
Okay, there's already so much within the first 2 seconds of the trailer. I know I'm about to sound like a Easter egg hunter, when you watch a Marvel movie analysis, 30-minute analysis on a 1-minute video. That's pretty much what's about to go down. So, in the very beginning of this, the first thing that he does, right? Matt Murdock is blind. As you notice, there's a certain area that's going to be shadowed, and I'm assuming you're not going to be able to see people around that area. That's just kind of his whole story character dynamic. I don't know how useful or not useful or bad or good that's going to be, but I'm assuming the way the character's going to be played. The very first thing he does is you can see people through walls,
Nice.
and you are able to use what's called a sonic dash, right? That's his F ability. And so when you press that F ability, you're going to be able to track them. Immediately, what he does next is uses his shift ability, which I'm assuming is a grappling hook. He then starts to wall climb. I think that's just a passive maybe that he'll have, or you'll be able to wall climb whenever you use shift. So before, in this 5 seconds that just happened, he pinged him from across the wall. He uses grapple and started climbing. Then you see how he still has that little marker above his head? I think that is what's going to let him do what right here in dash forward. And so you see how we immediately went on cooldown. So that is how you dash with this character, is you mark them, and then you press the ability again, and then boom, that's how you dash. Then you also note how he was on a 5-second cooldown with the righteous cross. That is also from the grappling hook earlier. So you grapple, and then you're on a 5-second cooldown to do what he does right here. So he dashes, and then does the righteous cross. So that is what the shift ability does. So then he does his normal primary fire, and then he immediately presses right click, which is kind of of what I've noticed. You'll see in a little bit in the trailer. It's like a Genji reflect that does damage, which seems kind of good. I'm not gonna lie, that seems really, really, really good. So again, all of that was in 4 seconds. This character, he's gonna be complicated and he's gonna have a high skill cap. So I'm very, very excited to play him because he looks sick and is super interesting, and there's so many little nuances. I'm gonna pretty much go over it again. He pretty much does all these combos one more time on the squirrel roll. So again, pings with F. And then in this case, he uses the grapple to pull. So the grapple, it looks like it's not just going to be for movement. It's not going to just be for all that. He uses the grapple to pull the squirrel girl closer to him. Or him, sorry, to the squirrel girl. I missed my words. So he does that immediately into the righteous cross. I don't know, maybe that's an auto ability because I didn't even see it pop up. And then again, he does the right click to reflect. And it reflects the acorn back onto squirrel girl. And he still has the dash on cooldown this whole time. So he dashes in and then finishes him with a combo. So the combos on this character are about to be disgusting because there's 18 different buttons you have to press with him, okay? This is going to be some Spider-Man when he first came out levels of learning how to optimize combos and everything of that nature. Then, that was all talking about everything besides his E. His E, this seems very interesting to me. It's Devil's Chain and Devil's Throw. So once you activate it, you can do one or the other. Kind of a lot of characters have that. Kind of like Blade, having the 2 modes. Kind of like Groot, the things with different modes, you know? So right there, it seemed like he used the Devil's Throw. So he pressed the ability, Devil's Throw. It seems like it's going to work like Captain America's E when it comes to where it reflects to people, but it seems like it does a little bit more damage. So it reflected from Storm on a Groot on the Punisher, and I'm not sure how much damage it did to those two. Then he used the dash again to get in there, righteous cross. And then that looks like that was the Devil's Chain thing. So again, he pressed E. I'm assuming they play on no cooldowns because he has 2 little burn icons, but none of them got burned out. And obviously, I feel like they are on cooldown, or else he would just be blatantly overpowered. So yeah, again, he does all the combos again. He uses dash to go in. He immediately uses E and Devil's Chain. and then he immediately uses Reflect on the Punisher, and then he immediately gets Dash again, and then he spams Shift to get like the Righteous Cross. So like this character looks disgusting, if I'm being honest with you, and he looks so sick.
On the hunt.
Now we have the aura farming, okay, Mr. Matt Murdock. And now his ult. So his ult, it seems interesting. I don't think it's going to be anything
Let
too
the devil out!
So it seems, hold up. It seems to just have an AoE effect maybe within him that you'll just start taking reduced damage. I'm not sure if it's that or just his attacks. It could just be his attacks, honestly. But what it does do, though, is it blinds everyone in a radius, and I'm assuming gives them some sort of passive or some sort of thing. You can see above her head that she has that like little thing. It could be like Cloak and Dagger when Cloak provides the thing, right? And you're blind, and you also do less damage when you're in that. Like, not a lot of people know that. When Cloak, you know, you get hit by the thing, you do less damage. And also are blind. It's not just that.
Ruthlessness is mercy.
Oh, so yeah, other than that, like, because it has to do some kind of thing like that, only because, or else it would just be a Iron Fist ult. And I'm assuming that's what it is. So when he yells, let the devil out.
Let the devil.
That's when he does the pulse ability, and then everyone, I'm assuming, is within that pulse gets hit by that effect. I'm not exactly sure what the effect does, but again, I would assume it's maybe like Cloak's, like, Cloak push ability. But which is pretty good. Like, having that immediately kind of hit everyone, it's like sounds like pretty good. Obviously, it's not going to be no crazy like Blade single ult kind of business, but it seems like it's going to definitely win some team fights, especially if it does provide that like taking less damage effect. Or sorry, doing less damage effect. I'm sorry. Or is it getting less heal? I'm so sorry. Like legit, I actually haven't played it a little bit. It's one or the other, but either or, like that's a big team game changing effect. It's not no anti heal or nothing, but it's pretty insane. And again, yeah, he's just doing all those crazy ass combos. See, wait, maybe it's because he was an ult, but he had 3 burn icons there too. Maybe it's just when you ult, or maybe there is 3 burn icons. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes to that. I'm sure obviously they're like playtesting a lot in this, and obviously I'm not gonna get every single bit of the analysis perfect, but that'll be very, very interesting.
Ruthlessness is mercy.
Yup, and October 10th. Yeah, so this Friday. This Friday is when it comes out. Yeah, so I felt like I touched base on everything there kind of as it was going on a little bit. But again, kind of a mini recap. He's going to be a very good melee character. You're going to have to get up close and personal. And his combos with all of his abilities is going to be crazy because there's like 18 abilities that this character technically has. And again, in short, let me go to where you can see all of his abilities. His right click is a reflect and also does damage in front of him. His left shift is a grapple that you can use for just movement or to pull yourself closer to enemies, and then will allow you to do a righteous cross, like to do part of a combo. E is a chain that he pulls out, and you can do one of 2 things. Either do a big slash in front of you that changes completely forward, or you can do like a ricochet that's like Captain America's shield, like when you throw it. And then F is the ability of being able to ping people through walls, and then that ping is what lets you dash to them. I'm not sure how much of this information your teammates get. Maybe it also like allows your teammates to slip people through walls. But yeah, his kit seems disgusting. He seems like he's gonna have a ton of combos, and he seems extremely fun to play. Oh yeah, and his ult. It does like a big let the devil out, and he like it's kind of like a Iron Fist ult a little bit. But its my main primary thing is that it like casts a shadow of everyone in the area, and all the enemies are going to be hit with like a cloak effect, like when the cloak hits the shroud, and I'm assuming that you're going to do less damage or take reduced healing, like one of the 2. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And then as a little bonus, I'll go over the patch notes. So they, for tanks, are going to adjust Angela and Venom. Angela, she's going to get slightly more heal from when she gets the bonus health effect, which is good. So people are figuring out how to use her in kind of her very unique like fashion. And so I'm assuming they don't want to tweak certain things. And if anything, they're kind of like, they're going a little bit in the safe route of just making her actual tanking ability whenever she does this, like feel and be a little bit better, which is a smart move in my opinion. I think that was the correct adjustment to do too. Then we have Venom. Venom's ultimate ability becomes more menacing for his foes. He just provides, healing reduction to enemies hit. Okay, that seems pretty good. I haven't been playing a ton in this like past 3.5 season, but I didn't read anything in the previous patch notes or played against him to note that he'd be bad. So this seems like a pretty damn good buff. I'm not gonna lie. Seems like a pretty good buff. So if you're a Venom player, I would be very excited. More combos, more everything, more just effectiveness with this ult. Then with duelists, they buffing my boy Blade, baby. I took a little break, but hey, your boy's still gonna try and be the #1 Blade. Listen, I was on that Pioneer shit. Shout out to Team Captain, bro. If anything, he took the torch a little bit while I was gone, but gotta reclaim that now that I'm back. Especially if they're gonna be buffing him like this. Because making it so he gets extra range from his Daywalker dash, and then also each slash speed attack gained during Bloodline Awakening lasts longer. That's what I'm reading that is. Increasing the duration, so that means it's not gonna tick down as fast. And then also landing all 4 hits of Whirlwind Slash, giving 1 slash. He's just more efficient. Plain and simple. There's a plain, straight across the board efficiency buff for my boy. Then we have Hela. Hela gets a slight survivability buff. Interesting. I did not know that Hela needed a buff, if I'm being completely honest. But maybe it's so she doesn't get kind of outcasted by Phoenix and that type of stuff. Human Torch, slight reduction in damage and mobility. So cluster hit damage for a projectile from 5.5 to 5, and then cluster has a delay. And then during Plasma Body, reduce movement speed from 900 to 850. Okay, so just a flat nerf. Again, his numbers from the very beginning were super duper good, but that was obviously before a lot of people knew how to actually play him. And so I think they're technically just kind of bringing him into check a little bit. But yeah, only has seen nerfs though. Only has seen nerfs. Iron Fist. So his threat against high enemies or high health enemies increases. Okay, that's good. I remember maybe I was in the minority. I liked the change when it first came out. Obviously, it was a little bit underwhelming because they really tried to keep it in line with kind of his old DPS and kind of only really made it make a difference, like a little bit. So I'm glad they're leaning into a little bit more. So they're technically reducing the damage, but we're increasing the strike thing again. So they're slightly increasing it. Again, they didn't go that crazy, to be honest. They could have gone a little bit crazier, in my opinion. You know, I think it'd be a fun change to do, but it should be good for him, just generally speaking. Because they already did this in like 2 patch notes ago, and so they're kind of just leaning a little bit more into it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do it even more in the future, to be honest, to make it more of a tank buster. Then Mr. Fantastic, he gains a little bit more CC with mobile heroes. So when you grab someone, when you hump them, when you do the huh, they are now afflicted with a 1-second immobilize effect. Okay, so he's going to be good, like even better against like dive characters, which is fair because that's kind of his like whole spiel. Phoenix, her burst potential has been toned down. Melee attacks no longer stack sparks. That's fair. I don't know how big of a difference it's going to make, but like it's still kind of a small nerf. And then a primary weapon ammo no longer replenishes during Dark Ascent. That's also fair. Okay, so they're not like really butchering the character. They're just kind of getting rid of some of the ease of lives. Added 1 second of cooldown to Dark Ascent. Okay, so you can't just spam it. That's the one thing I don't like about Marvel Rivals in general, is like cooldowns on shields and like things like that. Like it's just something I'm not a big fan of, but it's their design choices. So, and then on the healers, Cloak and Dagger, increase the energy cost of the ult. Fair. I'm always a fan of that, to be completely honest with you. I'm always a fan of them increasing the ult cost, because then that is what reduces the like triple support ult like every damn team fight, and you're only playing around that. That is like the easiest simple answer. That and reducing the time of the ults, like as in like how long the ult lasts. It's that easy in my opinion. Jeff the Shark, reduce the crit damage reduction from the Oblivious Cuteness. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna be looking at gameplay and like pro a little bit more, like from this little time period that I was gone, because I thought that fool was gonna be pretty good, and him getting a nerf in here kind of reinforces my initial predictions from last patch notes. Rocket, increased damage boost granted by CYA. That's good because his ult, bro, at this point, it wasn't cosmetic, but it's one of those things where they made the ult so good that it actually reminded people to break it. You know what I mean? So once everyone actually started breaking rocket ults, it became borderline useless. You know what I mean? Like before, when people wouldn't break them, dog, it was the best ult in the game. Like, not even exaggerating. But then people were like, wait a damn minute. It's out in the open, and if we all shoot that shit, it's just gonna fucking pop out of thin air. And so once people started doing that, it became a borderline pretty battle. And so I think making it a little bit more deadly while it's still up is a good decision. I like it. Ultron. The dials on Ultron's healing and ultimate ability uptime are slightly turned back. Patch healing reduced, and bonus to the fall away from ally from 10 to 5. Bro, what? They just straight up reduced the healer's healing. No? Increase the energy cost of his ult. That's fine. Again, as I was saying before. And he got his ult really, really, really fast. So reducing his healing is a very interesting choice considering he is a healer. But hey, if that's what they want to do and if that's what they think, I think he's literally just gonna be a poke monster and only gonna be played in like triple support now. Like he's not bad by any means now at all, but I feel like they're reinforcing a DPS into this guy. And then team ups. So Daredevil and Punisher are gonna get one. That's fire. Daredevil's gonna gain more damage, and then Punisher's gonna unlock like a sixth sense ability. That's cool. And then Hela and Namor. Namor now gains tidal dredge ability with Hela. Okay, cool. And then they increase the cooldown of magics, and then Namor loses Gamma. Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder if they switched it though. And then Ragnarok, Rebirth, Hela, and Thor, and they're just banishing that. Okay, so they're just getting rid of it. Okay, bam. That's pretty much everything. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to try and obviously be more consistent. My last upload of Marvel Rivals was like literally a month ago. And I'm going to be completely transparent. I didn't play this past like 0.5 season because life got started a little bit. But I was finding my groove, finding my consistency with this whole YouTube spiel on a different channel. And so I'm going to, now continue to do that, but on this one too, baby. So I appreciate y'all watching, and I will catch you in the next one, my friends. Peace.